Hello everyone, welcome back to another Magic the Gathering Commander review. We're in the Onslaught set, and like I said in the Arcanist video, there's this crazy trend or theme that's happening in this set, and I'd love to hear your guys' comments if you guys can figure it out before the set review comparison video comes out at the end of each of these individual review videos. So, today we're talking about Ixidor Reality Sculptor, who is a human wizard, legendary creature, of course. My phone is behind my microphone, so. It is a 3/4. It costs 3 generic mana and 2 blue mana. It has face-down creatures get +1/+1, which is really cool. We've never seen that so far up to this point, and I love the face-down mechanic. This is the first of the face-down commanders. And then for 2 and a blue, turn target face down creature face up. So instead of having to pay a morph cost, mega morph cost, what are all the ways to turn cards face up? The mana cost for the manifesting, the what's the sneaking around one from the murder mystery set? Something manor. Not Karlov Manor. Yep. What is that one called? What are they? Sneak. They're cloaked. Cloaked? Is that it? I think it's cloaked. I think they're cloaked. Is that... Or disguised. Is that it? Disguised. They're disguised, morphed, megamorphed, manifested. I think there's a new one now that just came out. I don't remember what it's called, but there's tons of ways to put creatures face down. Okay? So building any kind of face down deck with this commander is doable in mono blue. Absolutely insane. Speaking of being face down, when you turn a card face up, its controller does not have to pay its morph cost. And that, I think that's just to clarify that when you use the activated ability of Ixidor, it bypasses the need to do the activating of the morph. And I think it's important to note here, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's important to note here that when you use Ixidor's ability, that is an activated ability. You're paying 3 mana and you are doing blank. You are going to be flipping a card up. That is an activated ability of Ixidor. However, when you are paying the morph cost to flip something up by its own rulings, whether that be the morph cost, megamorph cost, or more common nowadays is the mana value of the face down creature to flip it up. Whenever you are doing that flipping up motion with the card itself, it does not go on the stack. It does not. It cannot get interacted with by your opponents, let's say. And I believe, if I remember correctly, that ruling came about because it really made the morph deck hard to play with if people could interact with you before you could flip something up. So actually paying the morph, megamorph, or flipping up cost to actually flip that creature up or permanent up does not go on the stack. So if you ever want to bypass the stack and not have someone like counterspell it or something like that, what's the other one I'm thinking of? Not counterspell. When you counter someone's activated or triggered ability, stifle. If you want to stifle someone, you would want to stifle Ixidor because that is an activated ability that goes on the stack. You are targeting a face-down creature to turn it face up, right? So that goes on the stack. Ixidor goes on the stack. Morph, megamorph, and paying the cost to flip a creature up from manifest and such, that does not go on the stack. So that way your stuff can't get stifled or countered or whatever. However, if it does have a turned face-up triggered ability, like when this creature turns face-up, that does go on the stack and your opponents can't interact with it. So, just clarifying, I'm pretty sure that is correct. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. The actual morph ability does not go on the stack. However, Ixidor's activated ability does go on the stack, so people can stifle Ixidor's ability to flip something up. A card I chose to synergize with Ixidor is They Came from the Pipes, which is new from our Duskmourn set. And I chose this card just because this is interesting, or this is introducing a upgraded version of the Manifest mechanic that we got way back in Tarkir block. And Manifest is one of the many ways that you can put cards face down onto the battlefield as those 2/2 colorless creatures with blank, depending on what the ability is doing it. And it has this great ability that when you turn things face up, you get a draw card. So, like I said before, there are tons of face down mechanic cards because the Morph archetype has been around for a long time in Magic's history. So there's plenty of ways to build this deck, and I think that that is really cool. The deck that I, of course, am building with Ixidor is a face-down deck. I love Morph. One of my favorite pre-con commander decks that I ever bought was the Sultai, or black, green, blue, Morph pre-con deck for, I think it was the Commander 2017? No, 2017 was all creature types. It may have been 2018 or 2019 pre-con for Commander. And it was this cool Naga Snake Commander that let you flip a card up for free and then had these fun abilities. And it was just great deck. So I love Morph decks. I love the Morph archetype. So I'm going to build a Morph deck or a Manifest deck in Mono Blue. Popular deck idea on EDH Rec, like Arcanus in the last video, this is also a wizard, and subsequently there are a lot of wizards that have Morph. So you could build a Morph deck with a wizard spin on it, or you could just build a wizard tribal deck and have Ixidor in as just a, you know, don't put a target on me commander kind of deal. And then lastly, a popular deck, or not a popular, this is a janky deck idea that I believe I came up with. I really was trying to think a weird way around this. And I was like, oh, well, maybe what if we just build the deck to be like a mono blue aggro deck, but it's just built around going wide with this board of crazy, weird, colorless drops. Because Ixidor is a face-down lord, he makes your 2/2s into 3/3s. And so this deck is going to focus on getting a lot of cards manifested onto the battlefield, or morphed onto the battlefield, or manifest dread, or disguised. So many different options of getting an army of 2/2 creatures on the battlefield, and having a sub-theme where you are focusing on beefing up specifically colorless creatures. That is the other thing I'll make note as well. It doesn't, at least from what I understood growing up with the morph mechanic, it's not really ever stated what color these morphed or manifest creatures are. And thankfully we have great tokens that have been made throughout the years of Magic's history that kind of better represent this. But these face-down creatures that are 2/2s, they are technically colorless creatures. So if you wanted to build a mono-blue colorless deck, you totally could do that. You could focus on Devoid Eldrazi. There are some blue ones that beef up your Eldrazi in that regard. Or you could have a lot of colorless spells in there that beef up your colorless permanents. So it's a twist on colorless tribal, but using blue deck strategy to build it. So I think that that's very fun. I would love to hear your guys' comments on it, honestly. It's a weird idea, but I think it'd be very fun. And I don't see a reason why we wouldn't get more morph face down and, of course, colorless synergies as the game continues. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And that is going to do it for Ixidor Reality Sculptor. Very fun card. I really like this card. Again, like I said earlier, I love the face-down morph mechanic. It's kind of got that Yu-Gi-Oh feel to it, where you can like flip up your creatures and do these fun interactions, activating my trap card kind of deal. That's the other thing too, is you can do the morph stuff at instant speed, which I think is really cool. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you should be able to pay those morph costs at any time and flip them face up, so that way you can do their cool triggered abilities in response to things. The downside is they're just 2/2s, and the majority of them don't have protection in some way. The good news was in Murders at Karlov Manor. I think it's Karlov Manor. It's definitely not Markov, because that's Innistrad. It's gotta be Karlov. The disguise mechanic gave your face-down creatures ward, which was really cool. Gave them a little bit of protection, but for the most part, you are playing a creature deck, so bear that in mind. Be prepared against board wipes, targeted removal, all that jazz. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'd love to hear your comments below about Ixidor, any synergies or combos I didn't think of, or I just didn't mention. And lastly, this card is S rank, S tier. It is very popular to build Morph with this commander, and you can build Morph in a variety of ways, which I think is really, really cool. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!